Hi, I'm Trevor Williams with Global Atlanta, and we are here with Wayne Lord, who is the newly appointed president of the Southern Center for International Studies and a professor of International Executive Education at Georgia State University. And Dr. Lord, let me first congratulate you on the award that Peter White accepted at the Governor's International Awards Gala the other evening.
Well, thank you very much. It was a great honor for the Southern Center to be singled out as a great organization and the Governor's selected organization for matters related to international affairs and the education and the raising of public awareness on that. We are very grateful for the award and are very proud of it.
Right. Now talk about your relationship historically with the Southern Center and how you've come to your current position.
Well, I actually began a relationship with the Southern Center as early as 1979 when I moved here with my wife Rosa. We moved to Atlanta. And I began, having completed my doctorate at Georgetown in Russian Affairs, I started doing some seminars for the Southern Center. I fairly early on, when I couldn't find a teaching job, frankly, Goldkist, the large agribusiness cooperative at the time, asked me to come on while I was looking for a teaching job and work in international trade for them, especially developing their markets in what was then the Soviet Union. But in tandem with that, I began a series of seminars for the Southern Center and also some lectures for local universities on Russian affairs, Russian foreign policy, American-Soviet relations, and so forth.
So it's been almost 3 decades that you've cooperated on and off.
That's right. I was actually called the fellow for the Soviet Union and then senior fellow after that, so I actually had a title, unpaid by the way, but a title with the Southern Center. But I also had the privilege of knowing Secretary Dean Rusk, who was the original chairman of the Southern Center for International Studies, the organization in its current form beginning in the late 70s. And I worked with him on several seminars as well. It was a great privilege to do that. I've known Peter and Julia White, the founders of the Southern Center, for all that period of time, and we've worked closely on a variety of things. My first encounter and assignment, though, really the big assignment for the Southern Center, was Peter White asked me to be one of the heads of the committee to host Deng Xiaoping, Vice Premier of China, when he came here in 1979, and so I had another great privilege of working with the protocol officers of both the Chinese and the American side to arrange for the meeting and the details of some of that visit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people still don't understand how historic an event that was, especially him coming to Atlanta. Well, since you have had such a historic relationship with the Southern Center, I guess that kind of eases the transition a little bit.
Well, it does ease the transition because not only do I admire the work that Peter and Julia White and Dr. Cedric Suzman have done over all these years with the Southern Center, I also know the work and the importance of what the Southern Center does, not just the people, but also the great value of what they do, from briefings on foreign policy to major forums and seminars to the reports of the secretaries of defense, secretaries of state, and other major national and international political actors, and I've followed this over the years and seen how valuable it is for the community.
Right. And your position at Georgia State is relatively recent, starting in March.
That's right. Dean Fenwick Huss appointed me a professor at the Robinson College of Business at Georgia State University because of my international experience. There are really a number of things that he wants me to address. One of those is to develop what is already a strategic relationship with the Southern Center for International Studies, but to work on projects to see how we can even better integrate what we call the contextual knowledge, that is history, politics, culture, religion, demographics, and other issues, and surround their absolutely excellent business functional education on marketing and finance and so forth, and to integrate those things, because there's no such thing as as a business person anymore. Everybody's global in one way or another. So we are working on a long-term project to introduce even more international aspects.
How will that tangibly take root, in your opinion? How do you foresee this partnership coming together tangibly?
Well, I think it'll first take place, which is already happening, with a lot of conversation and dialogue among professional educators, people with foreign policy and international and global issues expertise that we have, and their outstanding faculty on international programs that they have a whole list of. And we're starting conversations about how that can take place. In the long term, we will work on developing roundtables for senior executives on international issues that are important for business and economic development for the state.
And Peter White founded this organization that is now the Southern Center for International Studies in 1962. Is that correct? I think
that it was had another name at that
Right.
time, but he has been working since then to on this issue of enhancing the knowledge about international affairs in our community, state, and region, but to provide a nonpartisan forum where people from all points of view can come together and discuss important issues.
And obviously you have a lot of respect for his legacy and for what he's done over the 4+ decades. Obviously you can't hope to replace that, but I was wondering what you think, maybe not that you'll change going forward, but that you will focus on that might be different than what the Southern Center has done in the past.
Well, I think you always try to honor the legacy, and you take the parts of that that have been built and are still solid, and you want to move forward with that. All new CEOs of anything always have some new and better and bigger plan, and I think that's certainly endorsed by the board. The expansion that we have in mind, apart from the traditional educational programs and the development of educational materials that we've done, as you know, for middle school, high school, and
which is what you won the award for.
Which won the award. That's still an essential part and highly recognized and acclaimed as a part of our program. But I see a very important element of my job is to take the relationship with Georgia State Robinson College of Business, combine that in a creative way with both my colleagues at Georgia State and my colleagues at the Southern Center to serve the interests of companies as they look at global strategies, and not to advise them specifically on that, but to put those strategies in the context that we have expertise in, namely politics and culture, global issues, international affairs. And I think that's the great expansion, that we can add a lot of value to what we offer to the community, what we offer to the state as well, companies and the state government itself in economic development. And beyond that, since we are the Southern Center, we want to go into the region as well. This is a traditional role of the Southern Center, but I would like to expand it even more to be a conduit for discussion that enhances economic opportunity for all people in Atlanta and Georgia and the region.
And you also obviously have extensive international business connections here in the community, and some fundraising credentials with your work with the Howard School, as well as I think with the Gold Kist Foundation when you were there. Can you talk about how you'll build on your experiences in those institutions to help this one?
Well, both as executive director of the Gold Kist Foundation and certainly as a development director for the Howard School here in Atlanta, I met a lot of really great people in the philanthropic community and the corporate community who support good causes, and I think those people will no doubt help us and have in the past. I hope to expand that. But also I hope that my knowledge of knowing, shall we say, the business from their side of the table, namely a foundation who is evaluating projects. You do have to show a number of things of why your project is the one that's meritorious, and I hope the combination of my experiences, including being head of a foundation, can help communicate and put our case before a variety of individuals and foundations in this region.